Hi, I'm Tommy Mann, and as you know, I'm running for the House of Representatives here in District 42. Today I want to take a few minutes to tell you why I believe abortion is unconstitutional and how we can reverse Roe v. Wade. 43 years ago today, the Supreme Court made their decision, which ultimately has led to abortion on demand in this country. The average person today seems to have in mind that these justices examined the Constitution and concluded that a woman has the right to abort for any reason at any time. But that's not the case. In the majority opinion, Justice Harry Blackmun wrote that, quote, "Some argue that women's right is absolute and that she is entitled to terminate her pregnancy at whatever time, in whatever way, and for whatever reason she alone chooses. With this, we do not agree," end quote. They clearly didn't favor abortion as being widespread and common. One wish of Justice Blackmun was that there be a list of issues that, quote, "the woman and her responsible physician necessarily will cover in consultation," end quote. The abortion workers today hardly provide consultation, and the abortion doctors are hardly responsible physicians. But beyond that, I want to look at the heart of their decision. While Jane Roe and her team were arguing for abortion based on her right to privacy, the justices noted, quote, "At some point in time, another interest, that of potential human life, becomes significantly involved. The woman's privacy is no longer sole, and any right of privacy she possesses must be measured accordingly," end quote. The state of Texas argued against Roe, asserting that life begins at conception. The court noted their position, but finally concluded, quote, "We need not resolve the difficult question of when life begins. When those trained in the respective disciplines of medicine, philosophy, and theology are unable to arrive at any consensus, the judiciary, at this point in the development of man's knowledge, is not in a position to speculate as to the answer," end quote. In other words, it's not the job of the Supreme Court to decide when an unborn baby is considered to be alive. They, in essence, yielded to the medical, philosophical, and religious communities. If the churches would agree and science confirm that an unborn child is alive, then the courts would have to give equal rights to the baby. Please don't miss this next quote from Justice Blackmun. "If this suggestion of personhood is established, the appellant's case, of course, collapses, for the fetus's right to life would then be guaranteed specifically by the 14th Amendment. The appellant conceded as much on re-argument," end quote. Justice Blackmun's point was basically this. In 1973, the church was not a voice for the unborn, and doctors didn't know enough yet. If they could agree that the unborn child was alive, then they would deny the woman's right to privacy in favor of the child's right to life under the 14th Amendment. This would effectively end abortion. So where does that bring us today? The Southern Baptist Convention and the Catholic Church, which represent the vast majority of religious communities in this country, both unequivocally say that life begins at conception. What about the medical community? We now know that a fertilized egg, called a zygote, is genetically complete. At the very second of conception, that zygote has the child's hair and eye color, height, gender, fingerprint, and even DNA already present. Just days later, the baby's heart is beating. Advances in 4D ultrasound technology allow us to see a child wave, blink, suck his thumb, kick, and perform other very human functions. In other words, the medical and religious communities now tell us life begins inside the womb. The only thing left to do is change the law. If in 1973 there had been some law in the book or court precedent, the Supreme Court would have had to have ruled in favor of the baby, not Jane Roe. All we have to do is get a law in the book. So if elected, I pledge to author and introduce the Life Begins at Conception Act. And for the first time, we can recognize the life and personhood of the child inside the womb. We can tell these innocent babies that their life matters, and they are entitled to not only the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness, but the right to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. If you care about the rights of our tiniest citizens like I do, then I'm asking for your support. I can't do this without you. Vote for me, and together we can stand up for life. Thank you, and God bless you.